attitudes are formed towards products, services, and outlets is of great importance to marketers because of the important role played by attitudes in influencing consumer behavior choices, in influencing consumer buying choices and behavior. As such, marketing firms conduct surveys and use data analytics, online reviews, and other strategies and tactics seeking to get a clear picture on the influencers of consumer attitudes. I'm Catherine Ngahu from Behaviour Research, where we do market research. Thank you for tuning in to my channel, Elevators. In this video, I will talk about the 5 sources of influence on consumer attitude formation. The information on factors that influence consumer attitude formation is useful for business people, marketers, people in sales, as well as students of business and consumer behavior. In a previous video, I talked about the nature of consumer attitudes and their importance in the consumer decision-making process. So the focus here is purely on sources of influence on attitude formation. How are consumer attitudes formed? What influences their formation? Attitude formation is important for marketers because it influences consumer decision-making and choice of the products and services to buy. Attitudes tend to influence consumer behavior, including usage, the rate of usage of a product, that is whether a consumer is a heavy user or a light user, all that can be impacted by attitudes. They also influence new product adoption. They influence word-of-mouth communication, that is what consumers say after purchasing a product, what they tell their social circles. As such, consumer attitudes are key in determining the success or failure of a company's marketing strategies. Attitude is a predisposition to act in a favorable or unfavorable way with regard to the attitude object, which could be a product, price, brand, retail outlet, app, and so on. Attitudes incorporate 3 components of knowledge, feelings, and practices. Now to the 5 factors that influence attitude formation. Do you like this video? And stay with me to the end so that you can get the full value of what I have prepared for you. The first source of attitude formation is family. One of the most important sources of influence over the attitudes that we form is the interactions we have with our family members. The family is an extremely important source of influence for attitude formation because of the central role that the family plays in the bringing of children, their socialization, and the like. So we are all brought up in a family. So the family influences the values, the beliefs, the lifestyles, which then impact our consumption-related attitudes. The family plays an important role in our lives and in attitude formation in many ways, because the family is who we count on to provide us with emotional support and interpersonal skills. It influences our attitudes regarding suitable family lifestyle, socialization, and products and services that help us keep our family moving together, loving and caring for each other. Of course, you remember, in the family, the products that we consume together as a family, they come to be associated with a deeper meaning, and that contributes a lot to the formation of attitudes. So by providing love, affection, and intimacy, the family is highly valued, and the members want to spend a lot of time with their family. Family also teaches religious principles. It teaches manners, values, etiquette, and consumption behavior. The process of consumer socialization, that is where children acquire the skills and the knowledge and attitudes that are necessary to function as consumers, happens within the family. Many children acquire their consumer behavior norms and attitudes from their parents who function as their role models. Shared shopping experience, for example, co-shopping, where mother and child go to the supermarket together, also gives the children the opportunity to acquire in-store shopping attitudes. But if you think about that role of the parent as a role model, you will notice how even when people get married, they go and find that they want to do that which was done in their own families. Then you have come together with this other partner who also comes from another family where they did their things in a slightly different way. And you start to see this dynamic. And that is how we realize the power of the family in forming attitudes towards consumption. Like in Kenya, where tea is such an important thing, we all know that each family has their way of making tea. So imagine you get married into this home and the tea there is made differently. So your mother-in-law will look at you making tea and think your tea is not good. Why? Because it's different from your family's style of making tea. With time, your two methods might finally blend. The family also plays an important role in teaching interpersonal skills. And this is why it has such a great influence on attitudes, because the family influences attitudes relating to morals, dressing, and grooming. All these aspects relate to consumption and therefore influences consumer attitudes. In Kenya, for example, at the family level, we are taught to be kind to visitors. We have to offer them a cup of tea as a sign of hospitality. And that's what you get in Kenyan homes, a serving or an offer of cup of tea. You can say you don't want, but our parents will say it's wrong for you to not make the offer. And of course, in some families, you are not even allowed to go and ask the visitor, would you like a cup of tea? Because they say that is not very kind. So you say, I'm going to offer you a cup of tea, and you start kind of preparing the mind. The second factor that influences consumer attitude formation is social circles, your social circles. The people we hang around most of the time outside our family are our friends and colleagues at work. These days, we actually spend a lot of time at work, and so this plays a very important role. So one of the most important sources of influence over the attitudes that we form is the interactions that we have with others in the office, at the workplace, going out, socializing, and the like. Our social circles are a very important source of influence for our attitudes. They influence our values, our attitudes, and lifestyle. In these days of high internet connectivity, many people connect regularly on social media, sharing interests and consumption-related information, showcasing products that they are using, and influencing attitudes and behavior. Some even buy a product and then post and take a photo or a selfie right outside the outlet where they bought the product. In today's super connected world, consumer attitudes are influenced greatly through online conversations with social media friends across the continents. These days, consumers tend to trust information from strangers in traditional terms, I must say, because when you ask people, they wouldn't say that their social media friends are strangers, even if they have never met. And people tend to trust these people more than they trust the company's own communications. So social groups have become a major source of influence for consumer attitudes, formation, for brands, and the like. Customers trust what they hear from their social networks, their friends, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp groups, Pinterest, and the like. They trust advice from their friends and communities on social media more than the company's advertising. With this shift in terms of influencers, you can see the critical role played by the social circles in attitude formation for consumers. Third is direct experience. That is personal usage or product trial. Nothing beats personal and direct experience with a product in attitude formation. You can hear all what others have to say about it, but in the end, your personal direct experience with a product, service, or brand, or even outlet will have the greatest influence on the attitudes you will form. As such, direct experience is one of the most powerful means by which attitudes are formed. Think about the difference between personally going to a restaurant or a hotel and experiencing their service, their food, their style, their quality. These will form stronger associations and related attitudes more than if you read about it, hear about it from other people's experiences on social media or elsewhere. So because marketers recognize the powerful role of direct experience in the formation of attitudes, they frequently seek ways to stimulate product trial by offering free samples, money off coupons, and other promotional offers. The fourth factor is direct marketing. Marketers develop highly targeted direct marketing strategies to target consumer niches and small groups with products and services that are well suited to their values, their interests, and lifestyles. They use a combination of geographic, demographic, and psychographic profiles to target small consumer groups with highly targeted and personalized products that demonstrate a keen interest and understanding of that consumer niche and its requirements. This is key in influencing attitude formation because it shows great interest, concern, and care for the people in that consumer group. And the consumers will reciprocate with positive attitudes, connection, and eventually loyalty. Think about, for example, the way banks started to come up with this service for priority customers. A refined service for a small, well-understood group of people who are offered favorable rates for Forex and stuff like that. And of course, the services that they are delivered, facilitation, personal banker, and all that. It shows some deep understanding of the needs of the consumer and will have a greater impact in influencing attitude. Fifth is mass media. Mass media is communication that is written, broadcast, or spoken that reaches a large audience. Mass media is mainly in the form of TV, radio, internet, newspapers, and magazines, and so on. Mass media has become a major force in information sharing in the world. It's a key part of our modern culture globally. So these media forms do contribute to attitude formation in a significant way. This happens through information sharing, which causes a change in your way of thinking or how you look at something. Media has great power to influence attitudes towards products and services because media has been known to influence attitudes and opinions and beliefs about general product categories or even specific brands. It influences attitudes towards political candidates as well as voting behavior. That's powerful. In Kenya, for example, in these days of mistrust of political leaders, research has found that media is seen as a trusted source of information. For this reason, it plays a key role in influencing consumer attitudes. And there you have it. These are the 5 factors to consider, the key factors that influence consumer attitude formation. To sum up, the 5 factors are: first, family; second, social circles, that is your friends, colleagues, and social media networks; third, direct experience, that's the actual experience of using a product or service; and fourth, direct marketing; and fifth, mass media. If you have not subscribed yet, this is a time to do that, so that you don't miss any of the videos that we post every week on marketing and consumer behavior. And then we also post a motivational video every week, 2 videos a week on Mondays and Thursdays. Do share this video with someone you think might benefit from it. It could be someone in business, or one working in a marketing department of a firm, or a student of marketing or consumer behavior. Thank you and best wishes. Keep watching. We all need to elevate our mindset at this time.